This is the shocking true story of how one accidental swing plunged an entire nation into darkness. On March 28, 2011, something extraordinary happened to the internet in Armenia. Across the country, digital connections suddenly began disappearing. At first, many feared the absolute worst. Government officials rushed to understand exactly what was happening. Some suspected a coordinated cyber attack. Warning systems filled with failure alerts as desperate engineers searched for answers. But the real story wasn't unfolding inside a command center. It was happening in a quiet rural field in neighboring Georgia. There, a 75-year-old woman named Hayastan Shakarian was collecting scrap metal. Like many people in the region, she searched for discarded materials she could sell for income. What she didn't know was that something extremely important lay directly beneath the ground. Buried deep below the soil was a major fiber-optic cable carrying massive internet traffic across international borders. Above ground, everything appeared completely ordinary. Then came a single strike of a shovel. In that exact instant, one of the country's most critical communication links was severed. Deep underground, the flow of information suddenly stopped. Almost immediately, Armenia began disappearing from the digital map. Cities across the country lost connectivity, one after another. Businesses, institutions, and communication systems started experiencing massive failures. Computer screens everywhere displayed glaring error messages instead of information. Engineers inside telecommunication centers watched the outage spread in real time. The situation quickly escalated into a full national emergency. Looking at the network maps, stunned officials realized how much of the country's connectivity depended on a small number of routes, and many of those routes passed directly through neighboring Georgia. Emergency meetings were held as telecommunications leaders searched frantically for the source. Teams began tracing fiber-optic infrastructure across the entire region. One section of the cable appeared to have failed completely. Repair crews were immediately dispatched into the Georgian countryside. They searched fields, railway corridors, and utility routes for signs of physical damage. Eventually, they found it. A severed fiber-optic cable lying broken beneath the soil beside a railway line. Engineers carefully examined the damaged section before beginning rapid repairs. Meanwhile, Hayastan sat quietly at home, completely unaware that her actions had just made international news. The tool responsible was nothing more than an ordinary garden shovel. When investigators arrived, the explanation seemed almost impossible to believe. Yet all the evidence pointed to a single, accidental mistake. Soon, major news organizations around the world picked up the story. Headlines exploded, describing the bizarre event that disconnected most of a country. The elderly woman became known worldwide as the shovel hacker. The nickname spread quickly across global newspapers, websites, and television broadcasts. But behind the humor was a deeply serious lesson. Most people imagine the internet as something abstract and invisible. In reality, it depends on physical infrastructure, buried right beneath our feet. Vast networks of fiber-optic cables connect nations, cities, businesses, and people, and a single break can sometimes affect millions. The incident exposed how dependent modern life had become on hidden, silent systems. It also revealed how surprisingly fragile those systems can be. The outage lasted only hours, but its lesson remains incredibly relevant today. Even the most advanced communication networks often rely on vulnerable physical connections, and sometimes the difference between a connected nation and a total digital blackout is nothing more than a single shovel strike.